Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Product Analytics Weekly for February the 21st. I forgot how numbers work there for a while. I'll start us off by walking through the build board with a few open issues. The first one, deploy Product Analytics to GitLab org/GitLab lab. Dennis, anything you'd like to note about this?
Yeah, we still need to promote this, but I think what we're going to end up doing is just pivoting this over to the public handbook. I think that's just going to be a lot more value in terms of what we're looking for additional data. So we'll be updating this issue likely tomorrow. Sam and I have a session to kind of organize and fill in gaps for issues and epics for the rest of the customer focused releases.
Cool. And then the 59 milestone planning issue, I guess this is going to can be closed or will be closed soon. We can skip over the 1510 one. Then we have add product analytics application setting for collector hosts in solution validation for backend. I see this isn't assigned. Don't know if anyone has any comments. Else I'll move on. Then we have put an add dashboard button on product analytics page. This one is a front issue and problem validation. I just wanted to ask the question whether or not the expectation is for this to be delivered in this milestone or only be planned out. Dennis, Sam, I'm not sure if one of you can answer that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the issue pulled up. Give me a second.
Yeah, I have it here on my shares.
Sorry, what was the question? We're just filling in the agenda.
So we have this issue, put an add dashboard button on the analytics listing page. This is presumably for the new shared listing page. The current status of this or the workflow is problem validation. So it still needs to, I think, go through potentially UX and then also implementation planning. So I just wanted to check if the expectation is to have this delivered this milestone or only planned out.
I think it'd be a tall order to, I mean, can we go further down to see what's been done as part of the problem validation?
That's
so we just have the button visually, but yeah, I think there's a lot of discussion to be had in terms of what kind of dashboard, right? Because at some point we're going to have multiple contexts of dashboards. So
exactly.
Yeah, I would say there's a bit of more discussion to have here. So it might be a tall order to expect it to also be delivered if we don't know exactly what we're building. So I would just say getting it to planning.
For this one, this also isn't called out in our 1510 milestone plan. So I'd say what we can do for 1510 and with a goal is to get this one defined and put a plan against it. And then we can schedule it for implementation in a future milestone. That'd be my thought on it.
Cool. Sounds good.
Saving the custom dashboard spike already has this implemented. So this basically creates like an empty dashboard object. And basically the first time it's saved, it's then redirected to exactly viewing the dashboard. So the saved dashboards to the custom repo will include this, because otherwise you will be as a step 5, I believe. I can link you to the list of the spikes. So this is already implemented. It just needs to be cut then with the saving, because of course for adding a new dashboard, we first need the saving.
All right. And will that be then compatible with all the different dashboard sources? Or
what do you mean with different dashboard sources?
So will that add button that creates an empty dashboard that will, as it is now, be compatible with Optimize and Product Analytics?
Yes, because dashboards will not be Product Analytics or Optimize specific. You can add both. You can add 20 other things to it. So it will be simply an empty dashboard where you can add whatever you want to it. So we shouldn't have any sort of specifics on that level. Only later when you are adding panels, then you can add whatever you want, because Optimize will definitely have some things, but we are already looking into plan, because we have a couple of burn down charts that we could add, but they are not coming from optimized. So there shouldn't be any sort of, you create a dashboard and then you can only add that type of stuff. We should be able to filter it down what you are adding then in the editor. That's what I believe is currently the target.
Cool. So I can actually move this then into review.
Yeah.
All right, let me quickly do that. Then Dennis, you have the next one. Should the query designer be generic or bespoke for use case?
Yeah, this one needs to be closed just to capture, it's the same as last week, just need to capture the decision that we will introduce the / visualization designer endpoint. And then should we need to change it for, subsequent variations of that designer, then we'll route it from there. So there's a draft sitting in my, this covers the naming so far, but there's the whole overall strategy for it, which I'll publish the draft and then we can close that issue out.
Cool. Then there is a unassigned backend issue that I'm very excited for. This is to add the first state management to the backend for product analytics. Then Max, you have document existing Jitsi integration points.
Yeah, so this was just writing down some information about how GitLab currently interacts with Jitsi and where in the code base that happens. So I posted some documentation and a diagram explaining how that actually works. I think there was a comment on it that I haven't responded to yet. So we'll just see how that conversation goes.
All right. Then Alvin has the next one, but I can talk about this. This is to add a column chart to our dashboards as a visualization type. I did the implementation planning for this. This is just pending a review from Rob to give it a thumbs up, or
which I just did. So feel free to put it into ready to go.
Cool. Awesome.
Have you fixed the typo in the title? I see the typo. When you have it open.
Where's the
visualization?
Yeah, I'll fix that quickly after the call. Then we have present call to actions configuration, dashboards in shared dashboards listing. Well, these titles are becoming long. This is in planning breakdown. I don't know if we have anything else to say about this. Rob, I don't know if you have any comments for this one.
Not right now. I need to get back to it. It's sort of tied into what I'm doing with the shared listing, moving that all over. So this is next on the pipeline. After that, I need to get back to see if I can move this into ready for development or blocked or whatever, whether I can move it on. I'll do that straight after this call.
Cool. Then we have consolidate Kube API proxy and product analytics internal preview into one feature flag. This is I think, nice quality of life.
Just to keep the number of feature flags down, but this would be a good back-end issue just to start with for some of our new engineers. So I might assign that out. I will rather.
Just edit the flag there also. Then we have a blocked issue, remove product analytics specific dashboard listing. I think this is just pending the work to move the dashboard listing over to the generic shared listing page, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. We've already discussed that one. And then Sam, you have created a blog post about product analytics internal preview. Anything to comment?
Yeah, so I wrote a draft of a blog post. It's in the issue if you'd like to take a look. And I'm working with TechRight or Prime Marketing to get that finalized, and we'll get that posted. So comments, feedback, questions, welcome on it as always, if you have any.
Cool. And then we have the next to our mind for handle the dashboard if not available with a 404 page. Once again, just a nice quality of life improvement for users in case the dashboard that they're linking to is the URL has changed or something. There should be a small change. And yeah, which I haven't started with. And then I also have add Cube.js to the Renovate bot. This is to automate the update process of it, that it creates a MR and then assigns it to one of the front-end engineers in this group for review. I'll probably ping AP for some advice on like how to actually implement this. Then we have another issue here that I think Rob is actually pretty much working on, because this is to use the analytics namespace for all of our translation strings. I think, Rob, the work that you're currently doing in the front end should actually solve this.
Yeah, as I port everything over, the namespaces will be updated to match, so feel free to assign it to me.
Cool. And then Alvin has also this one to add a feature spec for the dashboard visualization designer. So currently we have a feature spec for the dashboard's listing page, but we do not have one for the visualization designer. So I've wrote an implementation plan here and assigned it to Alvin that basically just goes through like the basic steps of clicking on a measurement, clicking on a dimension, and then just checking that the expected like that the data table contains like the expected data that we're returning from a mock like cube response. I think we can then iterate on that like as the visualization designer like matures. Then we have the internal preview dashboard for audience
actually
and
just
behavior.
refresh
Can
the
we?
page? Yeah.
Okay, because I was just about to ask if we can close these because they've been here.
Yeah,
for
we've
a while.
also been filing and making improvements to it already, and there's no open issues linked to them anymore. So
cool. They just disappeared. Then we have connect dev and staging GitLab environments to respective clusters. Dennis.
yeah, so this was previously kind of a test GitLab instance for us to connect to an isolated cluster environment. But I've changed this just to basically be, because I have the dev cluster up now, and I'm going to verify the changes one more time for the infrastructure documentation for staging one more time. And then I think it just makes sense for us to connect dev.gitlab and staging.gitlab to those environments, and then we can do our testing there. Should we need more environments from that point, you can just follow the instructions to set up your own cluster on GCP if you need that, but DevKit should be more than sufficient. So this issue will just basically give us one-to-one parity with all of our different environments.
Cool. Then you also have the next one to set up persistence with Jitsi Redis servers.
Yeah, so kind of dependent on the above issue, I want to kind of verify all the Redis changes on dev and promote it through the normal ways before putting it into production, since that's where most of our sensitive or important Redis data is. So I just want to make sure everything's good there before, we don't have less worry of Redis failing over in production. So yeah.
Cool. The next one is to improve the panel rendering responsiveness and consistency, specifically how visualizations like fit in them. I'll probably end up picking this up. It's currently unassigned. Then Rob, you have the next one to replace product analytics dashboard lists with a new shared listing.
Yep. Chunky boy, this is over 4,000 lines being broken down into 5 separate MRs. Backend is waiting for the pipelines to succeed. Thank you very much, Max, for reviewing that this morning. The first front end MR is with you, Jan, and the subsequent MRs I am currently working on and juggling all the rebasing, etc., that needs to happen to get this all through. But it's making progress. It's happening finally.
Cool. Very excited for this. And then Max, you have the document ability to export raw ClickHouse data via QProxy.
I am, in fact, documenting the ability to export raw ClickHouse data via the QProxy. And so that's in review. Lorena has made some very useful comments on that. And I think Rob has also raised some questions, which I haven't responded to yet. So we should get that merged during this week, I would think.
Awesome. Just moved it into review.
Thank you.
The first item here is mine to update the learner setup that I took over from Axel. I think this is just pending a review from Rob, but I'm assuming that it's pretty low priority against all the other work that you're doing. So no rush here.
Unfortunately, yes, sorry.
Yeah, and then we already discussed the put it at dashboard button to the analytics listing page. And then verification. Yeah, we have the spike to investigate funnel analysis needs. Don't know if you have anything that you would like to add there, Max.
No, I'm still waiting for the changes to be in production, I think.
Yeah, we'll try to verify. Yeah, well, same thing with the different clusters, we'll promote them that way because
Cool.
I keep breaking production sometimes with these promotions. So verify it properly.
And then Tim, you were doing some great work to improve like the dashboards in here, like the list retains fluid container after visiting a dashboard of the panel designer.
Yes, this is on production. This should be closed. It was mentioned in the merge request. So please go ahead and close. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. And then
Does that have to be marked as workflow complete now? Is that the new workflow?
No. But
No?
Is this our
what
workflow?
makes- No, that's just closed issues.
I feel like we have to mark the issues, completed issues of workflow complete, like when they've hit production. I feel like that's a thing. Sam might tell me otherwise.
I remember
We
it was
have-
being discussed. I'm trying to see in the handbook if it's actually a thing now or not.
We have, is that a new development? Is
If that would be, I don't know about it. If that would be a new thing, then I would tell the people who are doing the bot to update the things. But I think it doesn't
I
make
can
sense.
automate that based on closed.
I definitely did remember seeing it too.
Yeah,
But
so
also
James
it's-
just posted the handbook link. Thank you, James. So that is applied after features deployed to production, verifications needed, and the issue's been closed. So we might need to update this board to have that column since that change has been merged. The handbook change being merged, I mean, not this specific one.
All right, then that's good to know. I agree with Tim that it would be nice if we could just automate that.
That feels like a ridiculous task, if you ask me. I will follow up with it.
Also, is the product development flow still guidance or is it now mandate?
Yeah, that's a good
Because it's always been, at least as far as I can remember, kind of just a framework. So we can apply
Yeah.
some of it. It's definitely
How
expanded since
about
we last
we-
implemented it, but
How about we dig into this topic asynchronously? Because I think there's probably going to be some discussion we'll need to have here, and we'll probably run out of time during this call.
Yeah, let's quickly jump into the closed issues. Max, you have Spike determined implementation plan for product analytics export. I think
Yeah,
pretty much
we
already covered this actually.
Yeah, we have created 2 more issues to come off the back of that spike.
Awesome. Then we have sync analytics dashboard filters to the URL parameters. Yeah, as it sounds, when you now filter something, it goes to the URL, and if you click on a URL, it's the filters. Also, thanks, Tim, for raising the question/bug about the unintended or erroneous date range limit that was added. I created an issue to remove that. Then we have onboarding API. Oh, this was just the issue that was close to that are promoted to an epic. The milestone planning we don't need to discuss, and the internal preview dashboards issues I also don't think we need to discuss. Cool. In that case, I'll stop sharing. Sam, you have the milestone planning issue. Oh no, it's Dennis, sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say you're looking at the wrong week.
Like we already did that.
Cool. So we did some introductions yesterday at the section announcement, but of course, some of us couldn't make it. It was a holiday or other reasons. But we have a couple new faces since yesterday, James and Kevin. Starting with James, if you wanted to, if you don't have to, but if you'd like to, we'd love to hear a little bit about you. If you'd like to introduce yourself, but no pressure.
Yeah, sure. Hey folks, I'm James Heimbach, coming to you from Pipeline Execution most recently. I've been at GitLab about 3.5 years, spent the whole time in Verify, started with the testing team, which has turned into the Pipeline Insights team, and about 1.5 years ago moved over to Pipeline Execution. Based near Denver, Colorado, so Mountain Time Zone, the forgotten time zone, I joke. I'm usually up pretty early. We have a 9-year-old who I have already dropped off at school this morning, so that I can make this meeting, but that's about normal time for us. So working hours and all that other whatnot are in my README, and I'll be getting coffee chats booked with everybody over the next couple of weeks as time zones and schedules allow.
Thanks, James. I'm actually a fan of Mountain Time Zone because that gave me an extra hour before my meetings start. But
Nice.
thanks for that. And then Kevin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin. I'm a product designer here at GitLab for about 3 years-ish, almost 4 years. Crazy. I spend most of my time in growth. And yeah, now I'm moving here. I live in Amsterdam, but I'm not Dutch. I'm French. I moved here about 5 years ago, something like that. But yeah, working hours, obviously it depends, but the only thing that is constant is that I'm much more productive in the morning and fresh. So I usually do the bulk of my work in the morning, and afternoon is essentially meetings as much as possible. So yeah, I also try to book coffee chat with most of you.
Thanks, Kevin. I also realize we're asking you for an intro, but we're not introducing ourselves. But in the interest of time, I guess we'll have to do that in another meeting or in coffee chats. So thanks, James and Kevin, for your introductions. Jan, you have the next point.
Yeah, on that topic, maybe it's time for another social call since the team is growing so rapidly. We can have like another round of social calls, also maybe an APAC friendly one. Speaking of APAC friendly, since we have a APAC team member, the topic again comes up about should we consider having an APAC friendly time slot or going fully asynchronous? Dennis, you have a response.
Yeah, we've done previous iterations of this in the past. We can definitely alternate time zones. I think there's value in having synchronous discussions, just looking back at our recent agendas. So I would say doing something like EMEA Americas for one session, and then the other week, perhaps like, I don't know if this is the question I have, is APAC Americas or APAC EMEA. Previous iterations of this on different teams, and so I don't want to bring that over here, but just some valuable feedback is that sometimes people don't find it as valuable when the engineering and product managers aren't present, and it just feels more of a stand-up, which we already do asynchronously. So if that's the case, then that's not valuable. Curious to hear what other people's thoughts are, or we can open an initiative to discuss and figure out what's the right balance for that.
I think it's a good idea in general. I will point out that the product intelligence group also has alternating times for time zones. So when we're scheduling this, I just ask that we be mindful of when their call is and not double book it on the same time in case folks want to attend both calls.
That's what I didn't understand. I thought like you were saying alternating time zones, but same time. And I was just like, but they can't. But if you're meaning product intelligence, that makes perfect sense. Sorry. Thank you. So as far as action items, I'll open an issue just to figure out who would find which useful. We obviously have a lot of people in all regions now, so not everyone's going to be attending that, then that's fine. But I'll start an issue for that. I also have the next point, the infrastructure onboarding instructions. This is primarily for Max and Rob, but for anyone else interested in how we can deploy the analytics stack into a cluster environment, those instructions will be going out later today. I'm just verifying it one last time, just to make sure I covered at least most of the bases. So yeah, that should be, I'll send that out to the channel, but just a heads up. Tim, you got the final point.
Yeah, just a quick update from your silent contributor. The design updates have been merged and are in production by now. So the CSS is now filling the whole screen. It looks much nicer. I even posted a screenshot already with the new navigation, even better. The visualization designer merge request was merged today in the morning. This will add basically the capability to filter by sessions, to measure sessions and all the session parameters like average duration of sessions and so on, and also all the unique user stuff. So we can definitely now measure DAOs and MAUs and VAUs and all that other stuff for the visualization designer. I cut it out yesterday, the loading dashboard MR, which is basically now loading from the other pointer repo, so what Optimize has implemented, so that you can set basically another repo where all the dashboards are going to be stored. You can also use the same if you're really adventurous. This is basically showing if you don't have anything set up, an info message, then it guides you to the settings. You can set it up, and then it basically goes ahead and loads from our predefined directories under .gitlab/dashboards. And the same goes for the visualization. So this is now complete. I'm going to add now a couple of specs, and then this can also go in review. And then the next steps I also already added to the main Spike MR, which will be adding panels and or saving dashboards. I need to talk to Ezekiel where he is, and that he can basically get started also on adding all their optimized panels to our custom dashboards. But I hope that we will be ready to create our own dashboards in production in the next 1 or 2 weeks, hopefully. So that's basically my target. Yes, this is really needs to be cut, and we should be good to go.
Very exciting. Anything else anyone would like to share, or any final topics, questions, concerns? Seeing some shaking heads. In that case, we all save 3 minutes. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, folks.
Bye.